Is mistletoe still acceptable? Why do you leave out milk and cookies? And what does the color red mean when Christmas rolls around? I'm your host Che Durena, and we got all of this on today's most amazing top 10 list. Coming in number 10, we have mistletoe. This one is supposed to be so cute. You have some mistletoe hanging in a doorway, and then two people pass under and they got a kiss on the lips. Yeah, maybe it's cute back in the 80s, but there's no way that's gonna fly now. You think because there's a little piece of foliage hanging in a doorway, you get to lock lips with me no matter who you are? Are you trying to catch a charge, my guy? To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen mistletoe outside of a movie, so maybe it wasn't something normal people would put up in their house. It was just something that Hollywood would use to slip in some jokes into Christmas movies. But I think that this tradition has been long dead, and if you see it in someone's house, you might want to pretend like you gotta take a call and go outside and then drive home before you have any dinner, because that person is a certified creep. The only people who are gonna be kissing me on Christmas is the family dog, if they have one, because sometimes you gotta kiss a dog right on the lips. It's not weird, it's just healthy for your soul. Coming into number 9, we have Red Santa. Why is Santa the color red? Well, if you know your history, the original representation of the King of Christmas was him all dressed in green. So how did he become famously red? Well, that's because Coke took that image and then traded his green clothes for something that was a little bit more friendly to their brand. It's actually that Coke made the big dude red. Mind you, red was already a color that was associated with Christmas, which made it easier for them to make the shift, but now he is known around the world as being in a big red suit. So every year when Christmas rolls around, you can bet all your Christmas presents that Coke will put out a commercial that is going to have the big dude in a red suit so Coke can sell more product that year. As a kid, you thought Santa was just something to inspire a little bit of Christmas spirit, and then you learned that the whole thing has been a trick to make you spend more money and buy more Coke. That is just a terrifying thought. And guys, remember to hit that like button because it really helps us out. Coming in at number 8, we have the origin of Santa. So where did the big fluffy dude come from? Well, there are a few ideas. Some say that he's actually from the pagan faith, that the character of Father Christmas was some forest dude who would come out of the foliage and hand out gifts to kids. That sounds super sus. There's no way that I would let any kids get some gifts from some dude who just walked out of the forest and looks like he's wearing pajamas. But if that isn't the origin, then the other option is actually he came from a German tale of where Santa was followed around by Krampus, who would be the evil version of him. In this tale, the two of them work together and separate the naughty from nice kids. The nice kids get gifts and the naughty kids get stuffed in a sack and then turned into food. When you know Santa used to be associated with a guy that dark, it really changes his picture in the long run. Coming in at number 7, we have Coming Down the Chimney. The classic tale of Santa is that he comes down the chimney to give you your gifts, so if you live in a condo, no presents for you. It looks like you're gonna have a hollow Christmas and have to pay some condo fees. And even though it seems like it would just be a little nice addition to the big red dude's mystical story, it actually has a lot to do with more ancient tales. There are dozens of stories from around the world that tell of some sort of horrible monster that would use your chimney as a way to sneak into your home. There were stories of witches in Ireland that would crawl down your chimney, come into your home and take your kids and then turn them into stew. Yikes! And there was a horrible creature in Pennsylvania back in the 19th century that would come and do a very similar thing as to what Santa would do. This was a goblin-esque monster that would give nice kids fruit and then punish bad kids with a whip, which sounds a lot like Santa and Krampus. So maybe the big dude from the north is actually affiliated with these creeps, or he just took their delivery system for himself because he realized how good it was to get into houses. But for real, if you live in a basement apartment and you're not gonna get anything, I feel like those people need presents more than anybody else. Coming in at number 6, we have He Sees You When You're Sleeping. We all know the song, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why, Santa Claus is coming to town. Well, it's a great song to tell kids to behave around the holidays, but in that song he also says he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. Excuse me? We got another creep on the list. This holiday that we thought was all about being nice to people and spending time with your family secretly has a ton of creeps in it. Also, it's a bad idea to make your kids think that the only reason they should be nice is because Santa's watching and because they're gonna get some presents out of it. Because once they find out that Santa doesn't exist, they're not gonna have any motivation to be a respectful person. They should want to be a good person because it's the right thing to do, not because they're getting paid for it. Cut out being a Christian creep, Santa, and kids, learn to be nice for the sake of being nice. Coming in at number 5, we have a depressing snack. So, why do we leave out milk and cookies on Christmas Eve? Well, it's because Santa's going to come through and he's gonna be hungry and you have to give him a little fuel so he can keep making these trips around the world and spreading love. I don't think a diet of sugar and dairy is the best way to energize the dude who's trying to deliver presents to the whole world, but to each their own. But apparently this started as a Depression era tradition. People leaving out milk and cookies for St. Nick was something that was popularized in America during the Great Depression. This was something to show how grateful you were for having enough food and milk to spare. So Santa was coming in and taking food from struggling families during the Great Depression? How dare he? How could this dude be so heartless? We must cancel Santa. Coming in at number 4, we have caroling. People coming to your door to sing you a nice song. That is in the Christmas spirit. That sounds so sweet. How could something like that have a dark past? Well, when people started caroling, they didn't use this to just go to someone's home and sing to them. Carolers used to be vandals. They would go to people's homes and then they would sing to them, and in exchange for singing, they wanted food or a place to sleep or sometimes money. And if you didn't give them any of those things, they would change their tune. They might start singing a song that was more violent, like about burning your house to the ground. And if you didn't give in after that, they would start to destroy your property, and they might even break into your home and attack you and steal your things. Basically, carolers were some of the most dangerous people around Christmas time. They would go from door to door threatening people through song and trying to steal from them. That's not really the Christmas spirit that we're used to. Coming in at number 3, we have Good King Wenceslas. This is a pretty famous Christmas story of a king that would go around and what he would do to try and be kind. People think that this is largely an inspiration for Santa Claus because he would find poor people and give them small gifts so winter wasn't so harsh on them. Now what people don't know is this was an actual dude. Wenceslas, the Duke of Bohemia, used to travel around and give people goods, and it turns out he wasn't liked by everyone. In our version of the story, they leave out this part. Apparently his brother didn't like him and ordered to have him killed, which he was, publicly. Yeah, they leave that part of the story. Yeah. Coming in at number 2, we have the color red. We all know what Christmas colors are, green and red. Everyone knows that. But do you know what the colors signify? Well, the color green is about eternal life, and the color red is all about the blood of Jesus. Yeah, excuse me, what? Yeah, the thing that you thought was a fun themed color attached to the big red coat Santa wears? No. That's not it at all. Of course, Jesus was apparently born on Christmas, and even though we forget that sometimes, the day is really about him. So when we see red plastered everywhere, it's supposed to show that Jesus spilled his blood so we can have a nice holiday. I mean, that really takes some of the cheer out of it. I thought we were supposed to sit around and get drunk and argumentative with our families, but apparently we're supposed to also remember one of the most horrific moments in human history. Well, that really takes the fun out of the fondue set you just opened up. Coming into the number 1 spot, we have The Nutcracker, a holiday movie that is a certified classic. When people think about the music of The Nutcracker, you automatically think about snow falling from the sky and a bunch of people celebrating together as they dance, or something about ballet. I have to admit, I've never seen The Nutcracker, but I know that it has a lot to do with Christmas, and I looked it up for this point. The movie is messed up. It's about a girl who is transported to a world of living dolls, which sounds like a kid's dream. It's a cross between Toy Story and the Chronicles of Narnia. But that's until things get way darker. So the little girl, who is the main character in the movie, tells her family about this magical world. They think she's crazy, so she moves to the doll world and decides to never come back. So one day they wake up and their daughter is gone. After they already thought their daughter went crazy, so they probably just thought that she ran away from home in the middle of winter. That's depressing. Alright guys, that has been our list. I've been your host, Che Durena. See you next time.